You close your laptop, the room is silent, the phone is off, and yet your mind keeps slipping. You thought silence would deliver focus, but instead it amplifies the noise inside your head. You drift into thoughts, you fidget, you open tabs that have nothing to do with your work. This is the frustration most people carry, the illusion that removing external distractions is enough to create deep concentration. The truth is harsher. Even in silence, your brain still struggles, because silence is not the natural state your nervous system evolved to operate in. Your brain was built in environments of constant microstimulation, the crackle of fire, the rhythm of footsteps, the buzz of insects. Complete silence is alien, and when you sit in it, your brain manufactures its own distractions to fill the gap. That is why you can sit in a quiet room and still fail to focus. The real problem is not that your environment is noisy. The real problem is that your brain has no calibration signal to lock onto. The focus noise protocol solves this by flipping your understanding of attention on its head. Instead of chasing silence, you deliberately add structured noise that your brain can synchronize with. Think of it like a musician tuning their instrument. A violin does not become accurate in silence. It becomes accurate when matched to a tuning fork. Your brain works the same way. Without rhythm or reference, it wobbles. With rhythm, it stabilizes. That is why you are going to stop fighting noise and start weaponizing it. Here is the tactical framework. Your brain has an internal attention network, and this network depends on external cues to regulate. Neuroscientists call it entrainment, the process where brainwaves sync with external rhythms. When you expose your brain to steady rhythmic signals, you give it a scaffold. Instead of wandering aimlessly, your neural oscillations line up with the pattern and focus locks in. This is why people suddenly feel concentrated when working in a cafe with background chatter, or why some achieve flow when listening to repetitive music. It is not coincidence, it is biology. The focus noise protocol uses 3 steps to exploit this mechanism. First, you create a base rhythm. Second, you insert controlled micro-distractions. Third, you recycle them into focus triggers. Step 1, the base rhythm. To implement this, you need a steady, low-intensity sound that runs in the background while you work. White noise, brown noise, or even steady rainfall recordings work, but the science is clearest when the rhythm contains a beat around 100 beats per minute. That is the range where brainwaves associated with alertness sync most effectively. Action for you. Pick one consistent auditory backdrop. It must be predictable, repetitive, and free from meaningful variation like lyrics or spoken words. The moment you press play, your brain begins calibrating, whether you are aware of it or not. If silence distracts you, the bass rhythm fixes the leak. Step 2. Controlled micro-distractions. Here is where the protocol gets counterintuitive. You are not eliminating every distraction. You are programming them. Every 90 to 120 seconds, you deliberately introduce a tiny signal, a soft timer chime, a subtle vibration, or even a visual cue like moving a pen across your desk. This prevents the brain from habituating to the background rhythm. Habituation is when your brain zones out because nothing changes. The micro-distraction resets the system, pulling your attention back into alignment. Think of it as a pilot tapping the instrument panel to make sure the compass is stable. You can install this instantly by setting a phone timer to vibrate every 2 minutes while you work. That vibration becomes your anchor. Instead of breaking focus, it tightens it. Step 3. Recycle into triggers. Each time the micro-distraction happens, you attach a mental action. For example, when the vibration hits, you snap your eyes back to the exact line you are working on, or you take one conscious deep breath while keeping your hands on the keyboard. Within a few cycles, your brain learns, vibration equals return to task. You are now training a conditioned loop where distractions stop being leaks and become tools. Over a week, this loop hardwires itself so that external noise no longer hijacks you, it fuels you. Now let us ground this in neuroscience. Your brain's anterior cingulate cortex acts like a monitoring system for errors and shifts. It is constantly asking, am I still aligned with the goal? In silence, this system becomes hyperactive, chasing any random signal to monitor. That is why you chase thoughts, daydream, or fidget. By giving it rhythmic cues and predictable resets, you feed it exactly what it craves, a structure to check against. Instead of spinning out, it relaxes and locks in. That is why top performers often use soundscapes, background chatter, or rhythmic environments. They are not weak for needing noise. They are smart for calibrating their brain with it. You can test this instantly. Right now, choose a task that requires focus. Put on a background loop, rainfall, low-frequency noise, or instrumental beats. Then set a timer to vibrate every 2 minutes. When it buzzes, redirect your eyes to the task. No negotiation. Within 10 minutes, you will feel the difference. The wandering fades, the drift reduces, and you notice a groove forming. That groove is the result of neural entrainment. You have shifted from reactive attention to proactive focus. But let us push further. The focus noise protocol is not only about locking in, it is about endurance. Your brain operates in ultradian cycles, natural waves of about 90 minutes. During this window, attention can be sustained if you provide calibration signals. Without them, you drift halfway. With them, you hold steady until the cycle closes. That means one 90-minute block with focus noise can equal double the output of a silent block that collapses at 30 minutes. Imagine stacking 2 of these cycles in your day. That is 3 hours of deep, uninterrupted output, more than most people achieve in a full day. This is the leverage point. You are not adding hours. You are multiplying the yield of the hours you already have. The reason this protocol works for almost everyone is that it bypasses willpower. You are not relying on discipline to drag your attention back. You are outsourcing it to environmental cues. Once the system is set, it runs itself. Your only responsibility is to install it and press play. From there, the protocol carries you. This is not a productivity hack. It is a rewiring of your operating system, one that aligns with how your nervous system actually works. And here is the hidden bonus. Over time, your brain starts to internalize the rhythm. Even without headphones or timers, you find yourself falling into a cadence. Tasks that used to feel heavy become smoother because your neurons expect entrainment. You are literally teaching your brain to self-generate focus noise. That is when you know the protocol has gone from external to internal. It is no longer a tool. It is part of you. Here is where most people make a critical mistake. They assume the environment should always be clean, silent, and free of distraction. They believe productivity means blocking everything out. But the brain does not thrive in sterile emptiness. It thrives when it has structured input. The focus noise protocol is not about adding chaos. It is about designing the right kind of noise. Too little stimulation and your mind spins off into internal chatter. Too much stimulation and it fractures into overload. The sweet spot is controlled noise. Enough rhythm to anchor you, enough microsignals to reset you, and nothing that hijacks meaning. That balance transforms the same environment that used to sabotage you into one that sustains deep work. Now let us refine the application. Step 1. You have already installed your base rhythm. Step 2. You are introducing micro distractions on a loop. Step 3. You are recycling those distractions into triggers. But step 4 is about customizing intensity. Every brain has a slightly different tolerance for noise. For some, low-frequency hum is perfect. For others, it is rhythmic instrumental beats. Your responsibility is to test, not guess. Action for you. This week, run 3 separate sessions. In one, use steady white noise. In another, use rhythmic low beats. In the third, use natural soundscapes like rainfall or ocean waves. Measure which session delivers the longest period of flow. Once identified, lock it in as your default environment. That becomes your personal noise signature, the auditory operating system that primes you for focus on demand. Step 5 is to expand the protocol into your workspace design. Sound is the anchor, but visual micro-distractions can amplify the effect. Place one object within your line of sight that serves as a visual calibration cue. A pen, a coin, or a small card. Every time your mind drifts, you snap your gaze to that object for 2 seconds, then back to your work. This creates a second layer of entrainment. The auditory rhythm keeps your brain oscillations steady, while the visual cue resets your orientation. This dual-channel calibration multiplies the effect. Now you are no longer relying on silence or brute willpower. You have engineered a cockpit where every element guides you back to the mission. Here is the neuroscience behind why this works. The brain's salience network decides what information deserves attention. In a chaotic environment, it gets hijacked by random interruptions. In silence, it panics and hunts for signals. But when you introduce structured rhythmic cues, you hijack the hijacker. The salience network now marks your chosen signals as the priority. This is not discipline. This is rewiring the fundamental mechanism of selection. You are no longer a victim of your environment. You are the architect of it. Let us talk about endurance again, because focus without stamina is useless. Your brain runs in cycles. After 90 minutes, you must reset. The focus noise protocol pairs perfectly with recovery rituals. Here is the action step. Once you finish a 90-minute block, shut off the sound, stand up, and take 3 minutes of deliberate reset. Walk, breathe deeply, or step outside and let your eyes rest on a horizon. Then return and restart the noise. This creates a binary pattern. Noise equals deep focus, silence equals recovery. The contrast is what locks the habit. Soon, simply pressing play on your chosen sound will drop you straight into flow, no warm-up required. You have conditioned your nervous system like an athlete conditions muscle memory. The hidden benefit is resilience. In a real-world environment, distractions will always exist. Phones buzz, colleagues interrupt, noises flare up. Most people see this as failure. With the focus noise protocol, you see it as fuel. You train your brain that every external interruption is a trigger to reset, not a derailment. That means in an office, a cafe, or even at home, you hold focus while others crumble. This is a competitive edge. You are not fighting distractions. You are converting them into alignment. Let us calculate the compounding effect. Imagine you spend 2 90-minute blocks each day in true deep work using this protocol. That is 3 hours of maximum value output. In 1 week, that is 15 hours. In 1 month, 60 hours. Over a year, more than 700 hours of elite-level focus. Compare that to the scattered reactive hours most people run on. 700 hours of deep leverage work can launch a business, write multiple books, or completely redesign a career. This is how some individuals accelerate at a rate that looks superhuman. It is not superhuman. It is protocol. And here is the truth that stings. Without this, your attention will always be hijacked. You will keep believing that silence is the answer, while your brain keeps manufacturing distraction from the inside out. You will keep losing to invisible noise, but with this protocol, you finally install a system where the environment becomes your ally. Instead of fighting noise, you tune it. Instead of losing focus, you recycle every distraction into a trigger. Instead of drifting, you build flow on command. So here is your challenge. Tomorrow, do not sit in silence and hope for focus. Install your base rhythm. Introduce your micro-distraction timer. Pair it with a visual anchor. Run 1 90-minute block and see what happens. You will feel the shift. That shift is the sound of your brain calibrating. That shift is the protocol doing its work. From there, scale it. Make it your daily operating system. Build your results on it. Because the focus noise protocol is not about productivity tricks. It is about brain management. It is about controlling the operating system of your attention so that silence no longer sabotages you and chaos no longer overwhelms you. You stop leaking focus and start multiplying it. That is the real edge. And if you want more protocols like this, systems that reprogram how you think, act, and win, subscribe to Success Code. This channel is not entertainment. It is your arsenal of mental codes for success. The focus noise protocol is one weapon. The next code may be the one that doubles your output, rewires your stress response, or gives you an edge no one else has. Subscribe now and keep expanding your arsenal.